Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1563. I'm your host, Arwin. And before I start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal, Patreon, and the membership system. I keep saying it over at my main channel. Although, yeah, probably not. Just stick to the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated. Right. Anyway. The weather today is, well, it's not raining. It's kind of wind still, almost, and it is clouded. It's just kind of still. Lots of birds out there. Right, but I'm kind of glad that the rain stopped because that was getting annoying. And I have to go out for groceries. Right. Hello, Tiger Bear. First in chat, good to see you. You know what? You're getting a wrench. Right. It is Friday, the 7th of April, 2023. Let's check the temperature. 11 degrees Celsius, right. And clouded, yeah. Alright. Might get sunny this weekend, so that's nice. Hello, Richard G. Good to see you. How are you guys doing? I'm doing pretty good. It worked out. Like today I felt so much better. Also in the night I felt better. I slept better. I basically cut all salt out of my diet for just at least a day, just to see. Right? To test the independent variable of the presumed to be cause of the effect. I'm being scientific about this, right? And yeah, I no longer got like the weird, what I can describe as like lightning strikes. Not very painful, but just like weird shocks, which I typically associate like in my bed, not around the back part of my body. Basically, it's not like my back, not my spine or anything specifically. It's like just around there, and that typically happens when I get saline poisoning. In the past too, much worse, by the way. I thought that I was going to die at times in the past because it was so bad, but that is like, I know it's that's how I figured it out. And hey, it stopped. I didn't eat any lacrosol yesterday. I barely used salt even on my regular food, just to be sure. And that was all doable. And like, I didn't get the effects, and I slept great. Felt great this morning. Didn't resist my supplements or anything like it has been happening the last 2 days. Which seems to be like also a side effect. And yeah, so I'm very glad that was it, and I'm just laying it low on the salt for a while. Right. And then be a little bit more careful with it. I mean, I'm gonna periodically love salt. It's always been good on me. It's just that this time I've been like doing it for too long. Because it's just there. It is also candy. It's also like hard to resist. It just gets in my mind. It's like, oh yeah, that. Oh yeah. But I don't know. It's typical candy addiction, I guess. I mean, I've been really addicted to candy when I was a kid, like really badly. Where I would just eat myself sick with candy, like almost every time. So hard for me to have discipline about it. It's just once I get a bag of something, it's got to go. It's very weird. It's like all of it. And yeah. Like I don't like that I have that. Like I want to tame it. So this is going to be part of it. I mean, what better to tame an impulse than to empirically get evidence that it has a negative effect if you do that. And it's even worked with me like with paprika chips, Lay's paprika chips, or whatever they were called back then. Like with all the MSG in there. Like I love that shit. I love chugging it down. But then after that, like I would get sick. And man, I had to get sick from it for many times before I was finally capable of like really allowing myself to have it sink through, like, yeah, you really need to stop doing that. It's, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I don't want to talk about like addiction or anything all the time. It's just, it is evolved. Hard-boiled quail eggs are good. Okay. Alright, Glenn Salch. Hello, by the way. Glad I'm feeling a bit. Not a bit, I feel a lot better. Like everything's responding better. Like even the cannabis is, because like everything I was doing was now having like a weird side effect. Right? And I can like kind of ignore that like by kind of rushing past it. But then when I sleep, then I can't. Like it's part of the universal routine that I do. It's like I have to get comfort. Like I do the thing, I put my spirit in my body and all that, and it works. But then, yeah, you're faced with what is actually there. And it's like, you can't escape that in such a moment, right? So it's been confronting. It's like, it was basically like this whole cacophony of body communication. It's like they have their own voices, metaphorically. It's hard to explain. Voices without reason, but feelings, and just like trying to report out the situation, and even complaining, like yeah, I'm holding in there, but you might want to stop doing, like that sort of communication then just starts like really pushing in my face. And it's like, yeah, salt, man, I mean, it's lovely and all that, but there was a thing and you needed that. It did help me a lot. I mean, I chugged down a lot of it, and it was like good. Like it was like not even bad for my body, even, it felt, in any way. It didn't have any trouble whatsoever. It like everything felt better because of it. It's weird. But now that phase is over. Apparently springtime is not a good time to chug down salt. That's my conclusion. And I'm gonna try to remember that for next year and see if something similar happens again. And then I will know. For sure. Right? Because all these urges, things that you want, it's all cyclical, in my opinion. That's what I'm testing. Right? Seasonal, cyclical, reoccurring, or yeah, biological phenomenon. Anyway. Yeah, Glenn Salt. Yeah, that's good tips. But I mean, I eat organic only. Very specifically. And yeah, I do eat French fries a lot. But I mean, pretty much the best way you could get it. I mean, the only better way would be to if like freshly cut them myself and did the whole pre-frying thing, but that's a lot of hassle. And my dad used to do that, and it's like potato-wise nutrition better, but it's just not super great. And I do eat like regular potatoes as well outside of French fries. Sometimes I just like go for potatoes and red beets and a sausage, right? With a lot of gravy based on butter. And yeah, that definitely replenishes any of the actual nutritional value of the potato, because by the way, I eat them with the peel. Like completely. Like I don't even cut it up. I just eat the peels basically as is. Like I don't care, because I learned that is actually like most nutritional part. And when I was a kid, I was like, nah, I don't want to eat the peel. Like, oh, you're not supposed to, because everybody just shaved their potatoes, and it's like they're beautiful white, and you're like, eh. But I did then through other health people back then, like in my early teens, even hear about, yeah, but the peel is actually really good. You should just eat that. And I'm like, eh. But as I started to, well, become responsible for my own cooking, which was very late, by the way, started doing some, like, around 18, I think, but it wasn't really responsible for the dinner or anything. But when I started living on my own, yeah, of course, that's when I really became responsible for that. I had already learned a lot of different type of cooking, so I could definitely provide for myself a healthy dinner, right? And then I went organic quite quickly. It's like it was in the middle of like a whole bunch of internal spiritual revolution. I was really getting into Alex Jones around that time. My mother had just died. I just got out of a really rough, like when my mother died, it's also kind of after that, a bunch of nightmares locked off with me. Like the worst of my vision shit happened like pretty much until my mother died. I guess I was also under just incredible strain, because to me it's like I really loved my mother a lot, like non-sexual of course, but like was this fanaticism. So it's very close to, it was just very terrible idea that like I would lose her refined skills and her connection like that, because she had, is a very special person. That's just what she was, and had annoying as shit grabbler sides too at times, and she was not in control of herself sometimes. But when she was, it's like really just this, I can't explain it, right? So I was really in distress, and the distress levels have always directly correlated somehow with the amount of intensity of the vision that I go through on the other side. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna explain it. So right, but food important. And I started to eat all organic as I was getting out of all that and getting into Alex Jones, also getting into a bit of fear porn because of that, which was not healthy for me. I mean, that shit kept me up. I mean, Alex Jones kept me up more than Flat Earth. Although the transition to Flat Earth was, again, really scary, because it's like, on the other side, they literally threatened my life over that. Like, there was something really central about it. It was really scary. And I explained this. Like when I really started to talk about my background and all that on the Early Bird show, and even some of the Flat Earth talks, I explained that. That was really scary. So, that was real. I was really freaking scared about certain things, about just things I didn't understand, and extra, like the visions, I didn't understand them. I didn't have them as well ordered as I have now. I understand what it is more, and just like how it works, and just have them be clearer too. And the weird thing is, the clearer they become, the more there's like this weird ironic thing about all of it. That's like creeping on the background. It's like the structure itself the structure of the oversight of it reveals another layer of it. Its overall meaning to me personally. But that's kind of scary, because what typically happens when you basically change scale within the inside of a pattern is that it tends to kind of like fractally flip around. And that's happened to me quite a few times in my search of the spiritual. So that's why around the time that I made the symbolics.nl site, I was very focused about this balance between light and dark. The 1 and the 0, the light and the dark, good and evil. But a balance, like there has to be that like thing. And I didn't really know the full implications yet. But that was like what I was trying to strive for, the neutrality. Right? And the imperfection in that. Anyway. Because I was constantly climbing those levels and just getting everything flipped inside out. And so it's like, oh, what I thought before was evil actually has a purpose. And the things that thought they were doing good, they're still like misled and not gonna lead to something. That kind of effect, right? Happens a lot the more you climb ladder of insight. Anyway, what are you guys talking about? Best part of the potato is the skin, right? Inside. Yeah, okay, for the truth, but it's also just not literally like the skin, which kind of comes off sometimes. It's like what's directly under it is the most nutritious of the entire potato. And when you peel it, you take that top layer off. You see? That's the issue. And yeah, the actual peel, it's just fiber, but I mean, it's like, oh no. But the point is that if you peel it, or if you shave it, how do you call that? You take off that top layer, that most nutritious layer. Now, of course, you can resolve that by putting that in the compost and recycling very nutritious part of the potato, right? So that is like still a good way if you really don't like potato peels, but I just like eat them all. And I don't have any compost situation either. The minerals are in your dirt. Yeah. Oh, dirt is great. Dude, I've had old dirt. I eat dirt sometimes. I had this kind of dirt from Germany or somewhere, Austria or something, called Adolf's Best. Hail Earth. Amazing stuff. It's just dirt. Just dissolve it in water and take it, and it's like really good for your intestines and stomach and all that. Like especially if it's like if you got typical acidity issues of some kind. Great. Saved me a lot of discomfort. It spared me, I mean. Yeah. Anyway, dirt, great if it's the right type of dirt. Anyway, hey Terry306, good to see you. Where did Tiger Bear go? It's probably working or something. Hearing talk about organic makes me want to change my diet. Well, that's very recommendable at any age. I mean, especially if you're older, like it could literally just make you younger if you do that. If you've never done that, if you've been very sloppy, if you're still alive, that is. Because I mean, really unhealthy food will just kill you. But yeah, definitely. But you gotta like learn to do it though. Right? You got to pay attention to, like, you got to know what is organic and then like how to spot, because there is like a palpable difference between organic and non-organic. And sometimes non-organic is like of a really good quality or relatively good, and then it's like almost as good as organic, and like it wouldn't hurt too much to eat that like one time or something. But yeah, maybe it's like some of my extrasensory perception thing or something, but I can like feel the difference between organic and non-organic. Like you put an organic and a non-organic tomato next to one another, like I can see it and feel it, that it's different. Like I feel more activity, like energy activity happening in the organic food. It's more alive, right? And you gotta have that around you. I mean, it depends on the country also where you are. I mean, the Netherlands is really good with organic food. It's been, and I'm so happy about this. The one thing I guess I really love the Netherlands for is that they've been so revolutionary with the organic food that it's really a thing. It's like a 50-50 situation. That's pretty impressive. That it's not just like in the corner somewhere, 5%. No, there's a lot of organic stores and a lot of people know about it, and there's even organic products in non-organic stores that some people go for, and then they never even knew that there was an organic supermarket, right? That happens. So it's just really well worked out. There's a lot of products organic here that are even local and all that, and all of it is also traced to the country, right? In the vegetable aisle, it's like every vegetable has like the country of origin where it's from, and yeah, vegetables and fruit from all over the place, but mostly countries in Europe, sometimes Israel too. It's kind of weird. And yeah, I mean, good stuff. Mostly Europe and some Israel and sometimes other countries too, but not a lot. But it's also like the European organic brand, so it's not surprising. Kind of weird that Israel's, but I mean, Israel likes to get involved, I guess. And I mean, their products are pretty good. The organic food ones, fruits and all that. But yeah, you gotta know where you are and like where to find it. And you gotta learn about people that are into it to learn from, because it's quite a transition there's a lot to learn about food-wise, and like you have to reassess like how you eat eventually. Like, it's not just like, this is the unfortunate pitfall for anybody that thinks to, oh, just quickly transition to organic, is that, oh, just everything that I'm normally used to eating, I'm just gonna find the organic version. That's not really gonna work out as well, because even organic food, the processed food, if you're relying purely on that, you're still gonna get some issues, because the processing itself is also part of the issue. Part of learning to eat organic is also to learn to make things yourself. Like, get the vegetables and make it yourself. Right? That's unfortunate if you're not really into cooking a lot, right? That's when a man that doesn't like that is really fortunate to have a good wife that's really into that. That's a real kitchen wife. That's a superb blessing when you transition to organic food. It's superb. I've never had that luxury, unfortunately. Even with my ex, I was the cook. But I mean, I'm not worried, because I'm really serious about my cooking. It's like when I cook for somebody else, it's like I'm doing it like 5-star restaurant in my mind, at least. It's like I'm gonna give them something that blows their mind, that'll make them like cry, like, why isn't the rest of the world food like this? That's my aim. Right. And hey, good cooking can also attract certain women, especially the ones that are really slim. Appreciate that. If you're good with cooking, you can be careful, because if they hang around boyfriends that are just like chugging down whatever, then they tend to get more sloppy too, and I don't like that. Yeah, that's why I'm very much like, I can be a good boyfriend with models because of that, because I'm so careful with my food and I take it very serious, and so I help them with that too. Worked out very well with my ex. Anyway, very limited with the ability to cook, willing to learn. Right. Well, there's a lot to learn, Richard. I mean, it's practically taken me 10 years fully like dedicating myself to it and fighting my resistance to it as well, because I am not very easy going overall with learning stuff. But I don't know, it's like I'm not like I'm gonna keep obsessing with it until I know everything. I'm not that type. I typically do get sick of it, even if I'm really into something. Just need a break. But not to stray, but just because I don't want to have my mind be enveloped in something exclusively all the time. Right. But it takes a long time to really learn, to really get the entire picture, the rough entire picture. And then after that point, it's still, you're going to be refining your knowledge the rest of your life. There's too much. There's too much to learn. And in that sense, because of that, it's super helpful, the internet, with good sources of knowledge about food that are like organic and holistic minded. You got to be careful though with what you're going to look up, because there's also just misinformation out there. And that's a harsh pitfall. So you got to keep cross-referencing your knowledge to make sure that it is real. You got to keep mentioning things. Oh, I learned this. What do you think about that? Do you know something about that? And then eventually you get the real picture, and then you also start to identify what are sources of information and what are sources of misinformation, and when is somebody just sloppy, and when are they actually like purposely driving a wedge in the knowledge to be a shill for like an oppositional industry. You'll start to see that much clearer too. But all of that takes time. Internet's downfall, misinformation. Yeah, but it isn't necessarily, because if you're really serious about certain lore, that you're like, that's my thing, I'm good at this, or I'm good at it to this degree at least. Like you have a goal, like you have an insight as to how good you will or want to be with something, then that changes everything. Right? It's the biggest part is the real decision and the dedication to it, and then like what's gonna happen, how everything is gonna change. Yeah, it might go in all kinds of directions, including you might end up going to unexpected things that when you started out you didn't think you would ever try that, because well, you're really getting serious about figuring it out. Like what is real health for the body, and what is like rumors, right? I mean, people have tried all kinds of things. Like for example, Owen Benjamin, Big Bear, he's gone for like the turpentine route, just like not store-bought cleaner turpentine, by the way, but like that is something that a lot of people are like, what the hell is that, right? That sounds dangerous, that's crazy. But actually, yeah, it is a very refined chemical health strategy in a way. It's very interesting. Does something right. So there's all kinds of things that you would never consider that you might try, right? Because big part of transitioning to organic is also, why are you doing it? Because you want the junk out of your body. The junk in your body that you've been collecting through regular food is what is just creating this ballast, and sometimes just stopping eating it is not going to make it go away. It has to be basically drawn out of the body, and they call that detoxing, right? And there's all kinds of weird things to do that with, like liver cleanses. Liver is especially important organ, right, in the body, because it is the thing that cleans your blood. It cleans everything up. So your liver is the thing that's going to be really full with all kinds of weird shit, right? And you get liver stones because of that. And there's ways to get that out. And then when you have that out, if you don't just immediately start eating the junk again, you'll be like a renewed man or woman, right? So there's all these procedures, things you can do, and then just eat better. Also, filter your water, sometimes overlooked, right? Filter your water. Also important, because there's junk in the water too. I mean, I'm not just talking about fluoridated water, which is extremely unfortunate that still happens in the world, in regions. Then you really need to filter the water. But in general, also, there's just stuff in there that's just not great. And a good water filter really helps for your health, alongside our eating organic. Apple cider vinegar. Yeah, that's funny. That's the strategy, yeah. For the gallstones, well, this is the procedure that I learned. I think I did it once. It made me really freaking miserable, by the way. It's not it's like almost like a doctor thing, really. It's very unpleasant. But yeah, apple cider vinegar, or like apple juice that's like raw apple juice, kind of soury type. Sour it up, and like you should even like barely eat anything. So it's basically fasting, and you drink apple cider or sour apple juice for a while, and then after a while. I don't remember how long you have to do that. Maybe like a week or something. At least a few days. And then you take like this weird bitter salt thing. I don't know what it is exactly. It's really disgusting. It's super bitter, but I mean, it's not unhealthy. You take that, and then you just drink like a glass of olive oil. Not too much, but just a little. You might throw it up, by the way. It's really, it's not something that your body's going to be like happy to receive, right? You do that, and then basically the combination causes of the bitter and having soured up before causes your liver to basically squirt everything out with the olive oil just chugged down as a lubricant, basically. And it just chugs out all that crap. And yeah, when you're gonna go to the toilet, you might have to like rush to the toilet immediately, by the way, when you do that, because of the olive oil might just rush through, right? You might get, you know, but there's a good chance when you do that, there's gonna get like really fucked up, creepy, stinky shit out of there. That you're gonna be like, Jesus Christ, that things that you never even smelled before. So freaky. So be wary of that. But after you do that once, it has like a revolutionary impact on your health. That's like a proper liver cleanse, especially when you've done it the first time. It could be like kind of fucked up, but man, the difference is supreme. For anybody that I've ever heard that's done that, it's a real big difference, right? So that's going to be part of transitioning too, probably, if you want the full benefits, right? Because you got to clean out the junk that you've been collecting in your body while you haven't been eating organic. And then you really get the full health benefit. And if you just cleanse your body and you're still going to eat junk, you're going to go back to square one. Right? And if you just eat organic and you're not going to cleanse your body, you're kind of going to go halfway and then it'll just be stuck. The junk in your body is going to be obstructing the progress. Right, so there's some general food-based health advice. Apple cider vinegar. Right, but I have to look up that. I have a sheet somewhere. God, but it's such a long time ago since I even tried that. It's like, well, 8 years ago or something. Or was it? No, wait. I did it before I even met my ex. Right. So it's like more like 12 years ago, but. Right. What I described is the rough outline of the procedure. Now, there might be more details to it. There are basically more detailed descriptions of the procedure out there. I don't have it readily available right now. Sorry. I didn't know this was going to come up. I'd have to look it up. Right, but I think that it's in general classified under liver cleanse. I mean, it's been in the alternative health circuit known for quite a while. So it's not even that obscure anymore. It used to be obscure, but then it kind of like through alternative media, alternate health media, became more of a generally known thing in the organic circles, health people circles. Anyway, hey LVA Paul, good to see you. Hello, Apt Man is back. Welcome to the stream. Crockett, good to see you. You get a wrench. Hope you're all enjoying the show, learning something. It's weird to me because this is like so default information to me that I don't even realize like the way I rolled it out. Like some people probably never even heard all of that before. Because I've heard it said through those typical health streamers and all that. People like Mike Adams too. Like he's talked a lot about this sort of thing. Because for me, it's like, yeah, dude, of course everybody knows that. And then I forget, like, wait, no, not everybody knows that actually. It's like they weren't around. They were into something else at the time. Put myself... What? Why would you do that? And I guess that you're not chatting with me through your phone then? Huh. Alright, nice, LVA Paul. Yeah, thanks for being here. Right. Yeah. Yeah, look, the apple cider vinegar, by the way, Glenn Salt, it was... You're not meant to just take it, like, directly out of the bottle or anything. Right? I mean, you can dilute it with some water. You don't just have to take vinegar directly out of the bottle on an empty stomach. That's crazy. Why would you do that? A new one now. Okay. It seems like a bit of a waste, though. I mean, you know there's like all kinds of metals in there that you can recycle that are quite valuable. You did know that, right? You don't just throw away your phone. I mean, I get it if you don't want to, like, sell it secondhand, and then they'll just reap all the metadata off you with that. So you don't want that, but I mean, you shouldn't just, like, burn it or something. There's, like, valuable metal in there. Anyway. Shut up. Jesus. Okay. Dude, hey, whatever you want, man. If you like doing that. I mean, you could probably, like, just learn to do it, but I don't know why do you even want to do that? Why are you doing that to yourself? It's like, why? I don't get it. I guess you really got the taste of it or something. But, I mean, that does sound kind of weird, dude. On your tuna? Okay. I guess. Yeah. Hey, MTRC. Ah, right. So yeah, talking a lot about health today, apparently. Right. Let's see. Man, by the way, I got like 120 subscribers. Or 119 right now, but it's probably going to be updated. Like, man, that's a lot of people recently subscribing. So thank you all for subscribing. Probably a lot of people that were just already listeners and all that. But I mean, you never really know. So I really have more listeners than I probably think I do. What are you talking about? MTRC? A.m. Jesus, LVA Paul. Take it easy, man. Jesus. It's a bit much, maybe? The after show Discord. Wow. Alright. Well, as long as you had fun. Or it was informative or whatever, but I mean, like, that's a little much. If I do that, I'd be sick now. Besides, I want to just catch more of the daylight. Doesn't really work when you go to bed right when the sun comes up. Right. Anyway, yeah, I've been watching a movie, Noah, which was all over the place about a lot of things. But yeah, I mean, somebody recommended that to me in the chat like a few weeks ago, I think. It was interesting. Like yeah, I mean, there were good things about it and there were terrible things about it. It's like in certain ways it seemed like, yeah, that's like a pretty well researched position even in a way. But in other cases it's like, oh, are they just giving this twist to this? Like, Noah's like basically possessed by Ahriman and just wants to freaking exterminate mankind entirely. Which, by the way, I mean, in a way I get it. I have such rageful impulses, etc. But I mean, he's literally connecting that up to God. This is where, in a very personal way, I find it weird. Because it's like he has a vision. And then he draws all these conclusions. Oh, that means that mankind must, like, he's basically drawing his own conclusions, like they slipped in. And Ahriman possessed him. He was almost like just gonna let humanity die. But God did not tell him that, to do that. Like, that's not biblical. So in a way, it's like psychologically interesting. But on the other hand, it was also just weird Hollywood. Like, oh, they're just trying to just do something a little weird. This freaking giants, now they're good guys, and like, okay. I mean, it was interesting, but that part was like, didn't seem very biblical to me. But it was kind of funny, like how they addressed like a lot of issues though, about like the animals getting in there, which was like magical, all of that. And it is like really like, I thought that part was really well done. Like how all the animals gathered, yeah, CGI, but just also the reasoning behind them. Like, you know, they are being kept in hibernation. Like they don't wake up and then start eating each other. They're like being kept in stasis by God there. And that was just fascinating that basically they didn't like make it an item and have a conversation about it, but that was mentioned eventually. Like it was kind of taken for granted. A lot of things are kind of taken for granted. It's like, yeah, God. It's just that power manifesting, of course. Just the shapers, you know? But I liked it. I overall liked it, but there was a Hollywood just trying influence in it, palpable, right? In a way, but it was just interesting. Tarred his boat. Maybe with the amount of animals, especially the big ones, yeah. But I mean, give him a break. I get it. But also just, it was like too many different animals. Like, but that's even an issue just with the Noah Ark story in general. It's like, oh, one of each animal. Like, yeah, one of each snake. But there's like hundreds of different types of snakes. And that is addressed in it. In a way, but yeah, that technically doesn't make it fit. So it's weird. It's kind of weird that way, but still cool. A lot of things are being addressed. But then they did the whole stupid Hollywood bullshit. Like, oh, let me tell you the story about creation. And then have that... have the way it's told changed. And then in the meantime, let's show the heliocentric reality of creation and how it matches the Bible. Oh yes, sure it does. Yes. That was like, oh, fuck you, Hollywood. Screw you. Nobody's buying that bullshit. I mean, it looked really cool, the CGI of basically like going through time, like the time machine, time shift, all that, like quickly shifting things, right? They did the time machine effect on the creation of Earth and the whole universe, right? That's what they did there while Noah tells the story of Genesis, basically. It's like with alterations to it too. It's like, what? I mean, that part was like, yeah, screw you, Hollywood. I know you want to be special and all that, but I mean, that part's probably like just immediately gonna make everybody that thought like, oh, this is cool, gonna, like the real Christians there are gonna immediately like, ah. I mean, literally, it's like the whole thing is pretty compelling in ways, many different ways, like even morally compelling. But then they just weirdly fuck around with it. Just Hollywood the shit out of it. And I mean, yeah. So, what do you gotta say about a movie like that? I mean, on one hand, it's like really cool. On the other hand, they like on purpose, seemingly, just try to screw with Christianity. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Divisive in ways. In subtle ways, which is kind of more scary. Anyway. And I don't know how much of it, like, I don't think that Noah ever went like homicidal against, or Noach went homicidal against humanity or anything, right? I mean, there's no reference of that at all. So they basically just made that up and just made him look like a crazy religious fanatic all of a sudden, right? It kind of shifts. Like, pretty heavy scenery, by the way. Like, there was this scene, like, midway where the flood basically happened, and just people, like, crawling on a rock, trying to survive while waves hitting them off. Like, that was, while Noah in his ship is just sitting there and they hear the screams. That was, like, brutal. But, like realistic, like, brutal. It's like, I don't know, that worked, right? But then it's like suddenly it just seems like Noah, oh no, I want all of humanity to never survive and give. He basically goes all full eugenicist globalist on the audience and his family, and I'm like, dude, he goes off the rails so badly that literally I'm like, dude, why aren't you killing him? He's gone completely fucking apeshit. Like, technically, he's just, like, yeah, completely, like, that. And there's, like, other men on there, and, dude, it's bizarre what they did there. 2014 film? I don't know, I don't think so. Is that a 2014 film? Let me check IMDb. It was with Russell Crowe. I think it's pretty recent. It looked recent. Oh, wait, 2014? What the hell? Okay, that thing's been out there forever. Wow. Well, it looked really good for a 2014 movie. I mean, I felt like this could have come out like 2020 or something. Huh. Leave other family. Oh, that's pretty messed up, LVF. Well, that's not really mentioned in here. In the book. Or in the movie. Right? They don't... But literally... Like, it gets worse. Because, again... The story unrolls after the flood... That Noah just basically goes full eugenics. And it's like, no, I want humanity to die. And he's like... You're... Like, you're all... Yeah, he just goes full Ahriman. I can't describe it any other way. And, like, I'm pretty sure that's not a part of the book. And, like, how is God saying that? Okay. Oh, that's not part of the story at all. They didn't do that here. They're not even talking. Like, they basically say that the fallen angels were just angels that tried to assist Adam when he was cast out by God. It's basically God is the mean, punishing God. How dare you? And like, the angels were good guys. They got turned to stone when they touched the earth and then turned into these rock giants. Yeah, by the way, this is kind of getting really into spoiler territory, but I mean, it's 2014. Who am I kidding? Right? And they were just trying to help, basically. And they hated humanity because humanity destroyed everything. It's just... I mean... They really Hollywooded the shit out of it, didn't they? Certain standard model doesn't include gravity. Yeah. What the hell are you talking about, MTRC? Somebody's using my likeness in a video game? Ooh. Who cares, dude? I am not a stupid video game character somebody else made, okay? Why? Why bring this up? Right, so, anyway, man. Okay, I gotta have some more for the title. Gonna call it Going Organic, but what else? Mechanical component to gravity. Yeah, well, that's because gravity... Look, it's a convoluted mess, Glenn Solch. Gravity isn't a force. People keep thinking of it as a force and they keep pursuing this magical component of the force, but it doesn't exist. The bozo particle. That's all nonsense. They're not doing anything, just interpreting squiggly lines and drawing mathematical conclusions. They're not getting anything out of it. They're definitely not gonna create some crazy super particle that's gonna destroy the world or something. It's all nonsense. It really is, guys. It really is nonsense. The most impact they are technically making is just firing up insanely large magnets. And that may have an influence. But I mean, that's about it. Right, that's right, Glenn Salch. Gravity isn't involved in anything physics related. That's correct. You heard me. It isn't. Gravity is exclusively a method to deal with the astrophysics. Right? That's where they use it. Because it doesn't apply to the real world. I like that. I'm gonna put that in my title. Hey, Slumwoman Buggy, good to see you. Rufus St. Hubbins. Gravity doesn't exist. Yeah. I know. It doesn't apply to the real world. Or should I say there really is level? Maybe that's even better. I like that. Right. I got a title. Go organic. And gravity doesn't apply to the really is level. Maybe I could even just say gravity doesn't apply to physics. I'm bound to get some comments on that. There's going to be people that are going to be really triggered by that. Because it's true. Right? When it comes down to it. Yeah. I like that even more. Right, so I hope you guys are all enjoying the show. Maybe you learned something. The first half of the show, at least. Now we're just talking about stuff. Is a consequence of gravity. Yeah, but they have no proof for that. They don't know how weight connects to space-time bending. Effectively, they don't realize that Einstein already disclaimed that notion. He literally, look, this is the crazy thing. They all just think it's all brilliant and all. He literally disconnected everything when he did that. Einstein basically said gravity doesn't exist in the physical world. He conjured up an alternative dimensional understanding conception that you can only approach with math, and he basically said that's it. That's all there is. There is no gravity that you could really touch. That's what he did, and people just didn't understand it or refused. Probably a combination. Some people were like, you're just wrong. There is a gravity. It's physical. It's here. And others are like, okay. Well, that means that that means it's just connected then. They just didn't understand. Einstein said no. No. Actually, none of that is gravity. It has nothing to do with gravity. It's all just bending of space-time. A curve in the geodesic. In fourth-dimensional space-time. And it doesn't have anything to do with anything physical. So yeah, gravity doesn't apply to physics. Right? It only applies to astrophysics, physics math, basically, with presuppositions. That's what it applies to. That's where they use it. Right? Calculate all things and how much distance does this virtual thing have towards that other virtual thing? Oh, let's use Einstein gravity to calculate that. Right? That's why they use it. That's where they use it. In conceptual land. Astrophysics. Nothing physically proven. That's where they use it. That's where it's useful, because it gives them a framework to do something. It's completely pointless, but they can do it. They can do something with it, right? In the physical real world, where physics apply, you can't do anything with it. It's not anything that is palpable or variable and manipulatable. You just gotta take Einstein's word for it that it's there, and also Newton's wrong. Or disproven. I guess that Newton's mostly been disproven through quantum mechanics, and it just hasn't really been replaced. Einstein just came along to say, oh look, I have a gravity, it's in the math. But the physics gravity never got replaced, it just got debunked. Newton basically just got debunked, and nothing came in its place except for Einstein that told him, oh wait, here, you want to find gravity? It's here in the math. That's what happened. That's the summary of it. You can't use math to verify hypotheses. Only varying and manipulating the independent variable by an experimenter can verify hypotheses. Yeah? Math doesn't do that. You're wrong. Math doesn't have anything to do with the scientific method. It's not involved. You can describe things or even the scientific method with math, but it's not part of it. There's no math involved in the scientific method. Yeah? You can't just math science. Doesn't work like that. Right? You have to do it. The math can't do it. Right. Right, and very specific hypotheses that no, as a hypothesis is specific per nature, and it doesn't have to. No numerical value is involved in hypotheses. You understand that, right? And yeah, you can get more precise, but it's basically like this: heat cause water to boil. Now you can say, oh yeah, that's actually like 100 or what is it, 89 degrees Celsius at ground level with the like if it's not pure water with some minerals in there typically, right? Oh, precise. Yeah, but that's not the foundation though, at all. The foundation has nothing to do with any numerical value. It's water, heat, phase transition. Yeah, phase change, boiling. That is it. That is the hypothesis, or that's what, yeah, that's what's predicted to happen. You do it, it happens. Confirm. There's no numerical value involved. It's not in the hypothesis, right? Now you can refine that scientific established cause and effect relationship and get like, oh, let's work out all the details of it. Like, oh, what temperature, right? Well, a temperature is already basically a convention decided by man. So the numerical value is just based on off a convention anyway. But yeah, you can then figure, oh, what is this? What is that? Right? But what is this? What is that? It's not part of the scientific method. It's just gathering information, and you can use that in engineering. It's really cool and all that. It's not the scientific method, though. Right. So, yeah, gravity is not scientific, and it doesn't apply to physics. Right, yeah, but word theory. Yeah, but look, as soon as somebody's still complaining about gravity, I'm automatically gonna assume that when they say theory, they mean colloquial theory. Right? Because people like that will say scientific theory is the real theory, and just theory means an idea. That's colloquial language. It's really how most people tend to think, thanks to how the system arranges it all. This is how people start to think. I used to think like that, very, very much so. Right? So I'm not a physics teacher that like QE that's just exclusively gonna hammer on the use of words, like you can only say things as a vantage point from physics. Like, no. I talk in different ways, not just physics. I'm very interested in physics, and I will, when I am going to focus on a physics subject, I will definitely try to be very accurate and precise with the use of the words. as much as I can. And then when I falter at it, I will point that out and say, sorry, I'm getting this slightly wrong probably, right? Because I understand, yeah, when you get into physics, you have to be very precise, because suddenly the way you can use words really tightens down, basically. That's what it comes down to, right? And all that colloquial use doesn't apply anymore. So you got to be more specific. Right? But yeah, gravity is not a scientific theory. It's not a theory. It's just a concept. And it used to be thought of as a scientifically valid conception, but it was disproven. Like beyond, like, oh, they're committing fraud or whatever, which probably in ways did happen. Or it's kind of left open, right, with the Cavendish test, which is not an experiment, and it doesn't even prove gravity, really. But there's just, like, hints there. Like, oh, it might attract something. It's just all suggestion, really. But it's not real proof, and in quantum mechanics, they figured out, like, no, there really isn't. There isn't anything there. It's not, there's no subtle forces altering pathways of molecules, basically, and potential outcomes of their pathway and all that, right? There's no influence. That is gravity. That is a force that's basically doing that, right? Relative density very much is proven, though, scientifically. I mean, it's there, right? Basically, the whole Newtonian gravity issue is really just solved. It's all relative density, or density and buoyancy, right? And then you can speculate how gas go down, go boom, boom, which is absolutely preposterous. And then still have your imagination of outer space out there. But it's all nonsense anyway. It's just relative density, right? All just moves for the vertical forces of disequilibrium. So that's what it is. Relative density, disequilibrium forces, which are all vertical on the z-axis, right? Light or less dense things move up in their medium, denser things move down in their medium. And that's it. That is this, what people think is gravity. It's that, right? That's the real thing that people associate with Newtonian gravity. It is. That is what it is. Palpably, provably, scientifically provable, arguably natural law level, right? It's arguably like a subcategory of entropy. It just always happens. That's what I hear the guys argue about with. And they got a point. But let's just start with, no, it's scientific, because you can definitely test it. You can prove it by literally, palpably, on your own, varying and manipulating the presumed cause of the effect, right? The density ratio. You can alter it and thereby initiate displacement, initiate a movement, and initiate pressure if it cannot move. So that is the real gravity. And space-time bending has nothing to do with anything. It's all in a conceptual medium. It's all meant for astrophysics, for people that like to figure out how things are out there, way outside of their reach, using math only. That's what it's there for. It doesn't actually do anything. Relative density and specific gravity are the same thing. Yeah, except specific gravity is still using the word gravity, and it's still not excluding gas go down, go boom boom, right? That's the point. It's still riding on the density buoyancy system. it just kind of leaves that out. But it's not like saying, no, it isn't that. It's just like, this is relative density. We're going to leave it open whether you believe there's gravity or not. That's specific gravity, which is like really asinine that it's called specific gravity like that. Right? But yes, relative density, which is scientifically provable, very much so, and is arguably a natural law level. You can also find that in the science literature as specific gravity, right? But specific gravity is not super elaborate. It still rests on assumptions. It can fit in between Newtonian assumptions. And they specifically within it do not like disclaim Newtonian mechanics. See, that's the issue with it. It doesn't specifically say this doesn't work. It just says, oh, this is the density buoyancy. It's like up and down. And then leave it open. Right? So you can just like browse past it, realize, oh yeah, and then still believe in Newtonian gravity because it doesn't really say, yeah, that doesn't work. Gas doesn't go down, go boom, right? There should just be a standard label at specific gravity saying gas doesn't go down, go boom, boom. In the wiki page. That would be great if somebody could add that. That would get a lot of misunderstandings out of the way. Probably seemed like it would be creating it, but it would be a good reminder if at the specific gravity section of wiki it would say, by the way, gas doesn't go down, go boom, boom. That would be great. Yes, only the lonely. No, that's exactly what that means. Just because there is currently no way to solve the three-body problem with math doesn't mean that the three-body system are impossible. No, that's exactly what that means. Yeah? That's exactly what that means. If the math is not compatible, yeah, for 80 years, that means it's incompatible. Yeah? If it wasn't incompatible, I think they would have figured it out by now. Yeah? I mean, DerfCon 99. I don't know. It's just really thick. I'm gonna have to take a 2-minute break. This is just... Anyway, make sure to take care of the chat. Be right back. And I'm back. Oh God, what are you guys doing? What the hell's going on here? Dude! That's ridiculous. My guys. Am I really reading this Only the Lonely? I mean, dude, do you even know how much you're double speaking right now? Okay? Look at what he says. It's not that the math is incompatible, Orwin. It's that there is no known solution yet. Yeah, you know what that's called? That's called it's not compatible. Yeah, there's no solution. That means it's not compatible. If it were, there would be a solution. Like, are you reading what you're typing down? It's unknown. Yeah. That's right. The way for it to be compatible is unknown. You know why? Because it's incompatible. Yeah? Can't make the ball fit through the square. Can't do it. Yeah? I mean, hello? Basic sensory logic seem to have a problem here. Yeah, the point is that if math is incompatible, then it means it's incompatible. Doesn't mean it's not compatible yet. No, that means it's incompatible. Yeah, the thing about math is it's kind of quick, especially since the computer age. Yeah, especially now. If it was compatible, I think with the help of computers, something could have been devised to make it compatible. Yeah. That hasn't happened. Oh, what? Oh, you think you can do it? You don't have enough computing power to do it? Then you literally don't understand like how math even works. Okay? It's not compatible. If it would have been compatible, then it would have been figured out. It isn't. It's a dead halt every time. They're not compatible. Glenn Salt, what the hell are you talking about? That is not just counting. Yeah, but you know what I mean. The point is, it's not compatible. Right? No matter how many mathematicians you put together, the directions of the ideas of how to approach it come into play, it's not compatible. I think they've kind of laid it to rest by now, that specific aspect, since it's been almost a century. Yeah? There's a lot of mathematicians that had a lot of opportunity to figure out how to fix it, if that was possible. Yeah? Entire well-funded universities for a century all over the world. Oh, everybody wants that to happen among them, right? I mean, you would want to be the historical figure that figured it out. Yeah, well, guess what? None of them. Yeah? Of all the mathematicians in the frickin' world for a century, it's not compatible. Move on. What the fuck are you talking about? Took 400 years to come with it. That's nonsense. He didn't do anything. He just created something entirely new that didn't even have anything to do with physics. You didn't hear a frickin' word I've talked about in the entire show, have you, Only the Lonely? You got shit in your ears, man? Everything you're blabbering now is all proving that you didn't listen to a word I've said on this show. The fuck are you talking about, Glenn Solch? Dude, why don't you two stop blabbering? Stop having this stupid geek off in my chat about bullshit. How about that? Seem to be getting a little bit distracted in your conceptual land, okay? That doesn't mean it's right. Yeah, it does. It does mean that I'm right. That literally does mean I'm right, yeah? I put it together with basic logic, rudimentary logic. Any little kid can listen in to what I said and realize that I'm right. It's called basic rudimentary logic. Yeah? Pointing out when something is self-contradicting. Something that came rolling out of you. Yeah? You're double speaking. You're crazy right now. You keep doing it. Yeah, I mean, what the hell's wrong with you? It's like the compatibility of Newtonian and Einsteinian gravity. Is that like the return of Christ to you or something? You can never say it can't be compatible when... And I'm not even saying about a return of Christ, right? Because I don't know. Might be, right? What I mean... The mathematical Einstein gravity and Newtonian supposed disproven physics gravity, they're not gonna become compatible, yeah? And to just constantly think that is completely delusional. Like, why the hell is that even so important to you? When it's obviously not compatible. Yeah, you look it up. Guess what it's gonna say? Not compatible. It's not compatible. It's not compatible. It never will be compatible because it's not compatible. Official. Yeah? You need to get over that. You're wrong. I don't know why you're hanging on to that nonsense. It's not compatible. Yeah, okay. Dude, shut the hell up. Stop blabbering your nonsense, or I will kick you the fuck out for blabbering nonsense. You're being delusional, and I don't like people being delusional, spreading misinformation in my chat. Do I need to report you right now for spreading misinformation in my chat? Only the Lonely? Because you're incorrect. You're spreading misinformation through your shitty chat input here. And I'm getting kind of agitated about it. Now, I want you to stop bringing misinformation, provable, on record misinformation to my chat. Yeah? Please do. Oh, I will. I will do it right now. There you go. Yeah. And now you can fuck off. Done with you. Yeah? You have the gall to report somebody else's channel for something like that when you provably are spreading misinformation in my chat now. You monster. You're a monster. And I will have no more of you. Yeah? Go spread your delusions that are officially not correct. Go spread them somewhere else. Yeah? Go to your little crazy people echo chamber where they'll buy anything. Yeah, go there. Because I will not have you in my chat provably spreading misinformation and doubling down on it, while double speaking on top of that about it. Yeah? You might also want to seek some mental counsel on that. Yeah. Right. And it's all right here. So right. Anyway, show is rounding out to an end anyway. But man, that didn't take long, did it? Didn't take long for him to just go completely nuts. I was actually gonna give him a chance, but I mean, this just proves that I can't give him a chance. Because he's just gonna be just as deranged as Brenda typically would be if I allow her in my channel. Just lying. Denying, double speaking in plain sight, thinking, oh, if I just double speak, confuse him, then he might leave me alone and just let me spout my delusions and provable misinformation. Yes. So yeah, I gave you fair warning plenty of times, and yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done with you. Right, anyway. Hey, LSG. Good to see you. You're a bit late. How's the work going? China's all misinformation. No, get the fuck out of here, scumbag. Yeah. Everything that I've said is all... You can all find that shit back. Yeah? I make great effort to not spread misinformation. That's also why sometimes I try to cross-reference my insight. Because, yeah, I have been wrong at occasion. Yeah? And then when I am wrong... It's kind of embarrassing, but yeah, I have this habit, you see, is that when you're wrong, you correct it. And then you move on. And then you keep the correction. You see, that's what I do. So yeah, people can make mistakes, but I never like double down on something that's provably incorrect, that's palpably, provably, not through some stupid bunch of text specifically, but provably, mechanically provable, I try to keep things correct. And I correct myself. And I've had embarrassing things happen because I thought something and that it turned out not to be the case. Like, for example, saying that the word holographic is etymologically correct. Just completely incorrect. And I've been saying that for like months, and it was really embarrassing. But I don't do that anymore now, because now I've been shoved in my face, and I adapted. I got the mistake out of the way. Right? So yeah, if you refuse to do that, then you have no place here. If you will not adapt to knowledge that is provable and proven with examples, with references, all that, then yeah, you shouldn't be here. You're just trying to reinforce a faith then, and I won't have it. Right? I don't want to have any kind of reinforcement of faiths in things that are like logically impossible. All that, it's just nonsense. Right? Have your beliefs about the globe, sure, but you're not going to be saying things like, yeah, it's only a matter of time before the three-body problem is solved. That's asinine. That's asinine in mathematicians and astrophysics circles to say that. It's asinine. To say that is embarrassing for people in that field, if you're even that. It's an embarrassing thing to say. It means you're pretending to be something like that when you don't get these rudimentary things. Pretender clown. Liar. Wrong. Unrepentingly wrong. And yeah, he picked up on that. How ironic indeed. It is very ironic. Yeah. It is. In this case, though, he's wrong. He's the one that's wrong, and he refused to stop. He literally spammed my chat with this garbage. It was delusional and asinine. Right, okay, Glenn Selch. Well, hey, those are words that are applicable. I mean, but delusional and asinine are two different meanings, though, okay, right? Delusional is his state of mind in dealing with the information. Asinine is how egregious it is, because everybody in that field, like, really knows that. It's like having a mathematician over that doesn't, like, know multiplication tables 1 to 10 or something, right? It's like, dude, that is asinine. What, you don't even know the three-body problem cannot be solved? You claim it can be solved. Well, then that's asinine. Like, yeah, you're not gonna have like a respectable conversation with these astrophysics people when you claim that. They're going to be telling you roughly what I've been telling you. Yeah? With more probably historical addressing and like in their field of what certain people, they're more researched, more background information, but they will pretty much say the same damn thing. Okay? Because I'm not making this shit up. He was making it up. Merely referencing to things that I've learned in my lifetime. Right, but I'm gonna round out the show now. So thanks everyone for coming. I hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogans it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live. which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and Patreon, and it will be much appreciated. And I can still use the support, so yeah, any support would be welcome. Right, I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1564 on a Saturday, so it's going to be 2 p.m. Amsterdam time. Hope to see you there. And of course, I'm going to join the Flat Earth debates over at Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, which should start up any second now. Hope to see you there in chat. And until the next video, keep it flat.